I like
You hate the only vet in the
I,
team.
I like 0.5% and I hate 0.5%.
You hate the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
vet we have on the team.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers, episode 364.
364.
364. I got a question real quick before we start, guys. It's just a general question that I was having a conversation with somebody, but I wanted to see where Yinz guys stood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so everybody, well, I mean, most people know that Sinead O'Connor passed away yesterday, which I thought that she had already passed away. I totally had a
Mandela effect.
A Mandela effect.
Yeah, it wasn't her. It was the singer from the Cranberries.
Oh,
and I was always I would get those two
died.
confused too every once in a while. Yeah.
All right, let me ask you. I want to start with Derpy. Do you know, Derpy, what Sinead O'Connor looks like?
I saw a picture.
What do you know about her? Just right off the top of your head, what is something that you know about Sinead O'Connor just by seeing her picture?
Absolutely nothing.
Do you recall
I
what
just
her
knew she was a
hair?
singer, I guess.
Huh?
I just knew she was a singer, I guess.
Do you recall what her hair looked like in the picture that you saw?
No.
All right. Mike.
Yeah.
What's one attribute you would say about
Shaved
Sinead
head.
O'Connor? What's that?
Shaved head.
Shaved head. She's bald.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Mike,
definitely.
can you name 3 of Sinead O'Connor's songs?
No.
No.
Okay. So I didn't get into it, but there was just a little conversation I had with somebody that said that, you know, he'd taken heat at his workplace because he had mentioned that he didn't like Sinead O'Connor's music. So everybody jumped on him. And I said, you know, people don't know her because of their music. People know who Sinead O'Connor is because she was the bald chick from the 90s. She was a singer. She was bald. And I'm convinced that people don't know her because of her music. The one song that she was very popular for, Nothing Compares to You, that was a Prince song. It was a cover. Okay. So these people that are going crazy over Sinead O'Connor, oh my God, how can you say you don't like her? How could you say you don't like her music? Most people can't name 2 songs because, again, the one that she was known for belonged to somebody else. And my projection is that people basically know her because she was the bald chick singer from the 90s. That was my argument.
They know her from Saturday Night Live.
See, I consider myself an average guy who pays attention to average things. I never really put too much attention into Sinead O'Connor in my life, but even living through her time of popularity, I would contest that people remember her and know her because she's bald. Some people may remember the Saturday Night Live. Some people may remember the incident where she ripped the picture of the Pope up. Some people might remember the song. I say anytime you say the name Sinead O'Connor, the first thought that comes to your head is not the Pope. It's not Saturday Night Live. And it's because she's bald.
Yeah. It was just like everything. Like she had a good voice.
And so did many people.
But like the thing is, everything else became overshadowing her work. Everyone just wanted to talk, like you said, about the Pope, the Saturday SNL, and her hair. No one wanted to talk about her music. It was all about how she looked and what she did. No one. They stopped after that. No one wanted to talk about her music.
And my
one of those things, everything else became more important. That's all people wanted to care about.
And my argument was this: if Sinead O'Connor had hair, let's say she was a redhead. She's Irish, O'Connor. Let's say she was a redhead. I say she would have been long forgotten had Sinead O'Connor had hair. That was my argument. I think that people, okay, remember the name, but you know what? You remember Michelle Branch. You remember these one-hit wonders and people that kind of disappeared over time. My argument is that if she had hair, she would not have carried her fame as long as she had.
I think you're wrong. I think because of what she did, and then like the way people overreacted to it, that's what propelled her even more to pop culture. She no longer was a musician. She was just a pop culture touchstone.
I just think
So even if she had hair, she would have been a pop culture touchstone.
yeah. I just think that I never seen the Pope incident. I just learned about that recently. I didn't know she was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I
And
remember when that
again,
happened.
the only song that reigns in my mind is the Prince song. I just think that if she didn't have this noticeable thing, like many musicians throughout the period of time don't have that one thing that really sticks out that keeps that in your mind. I think that she wouldn't be the same person, and people wouldn't be caring about her.
Yeah,
Now.
it was the picture. It was the SNL incident. That's what made her still relevant until she died,
Because
or made her known.
a lot of people that are our age were kids when she was famous, and
Yeah.
and I wasn't watching Saturday Night Live. I could tell you that, and I wasn't.
That's a you issue.
But I think a lot of kids my age didn't watch Saturday Night Live.
I did.
I mean, you can, but I'm just saying.
Am I weird then?
Well, yes, and you're weird because, again, the first thing that pops in anybody's head when they say Sinead O'Connor is she's bald.
Bald in the Pope.
Again, I never even heard this Pope thing. I think it's
thought,
interesting.
I thought you knew about that. Yeah. Because when it came out,
nobody that I talked to even knew about this Pope thing.
How did people not know? Oh my God!
And maybe it was forgettable. Like I said, it's her bald head.
No,
her bald head
was
is what brought her fame.
It was the Pope.
And you think that the Pope incident kept her fame over all these years?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the Pope incident was about.
She ripped up the picture, and people were outraged about it because 3 days before it happened, it leaked out. The Vatican was covering up all these sexual abuse scandals, and she was singing her song, and she ripped up the picture of the Pope, and then
a million musicians over time she stood up for. Okay, all right,
then that became people didn't want to talk about why she did it, just that she did it to the Pope, and that was so rude to do it to the Pope, not what just happens, and that became a big thing.
See, P on the board says got to go with Mike. She still toured, but no record companies were pushing her after SNL. I would I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you guys. I think that people specifically remember her because she's bald-headed. If she wasn't bald-headed, I think that she would have disappeared through time. But again, that's my opinion. That's your guys' opinion, and I respect that. I'm just saying, if you say that name ever in my life, bald chick pops in my mind, and then eventually other things come. The song that she sang again was a really nice song. She did a really nice version. It wasn't hers, it was Prince's, but I say that her claim to fame was the fact that she was bald. If she had red hair with a ponytail, I don't think Sinead O'Connor was the same after all this time. So that's where I stand.
That's one opinion to have.
That is one opinion to have. And I think if you would ask, go around and talk to people, I think that would be the top thing that would come out of their head. If they knew who she was, I would say that she was bald would be number one on the board.
Yeah, I'm going with the Pope. But we will.
Did you know she was bald?
We will disagree to agree.
Let me ask you this: did you know she was bald?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I knew who she was.
I didn't know the Pope incident. So, I mean, that goes to show you two people knew she was bald. One people knew the Pope incident. I'm just saying, I think that's how it would shake out ultimately. But
I know 7 people, so I can't really do a survey. And only 3 of them talk to me.
Yeah.
And I only like one of them, and that's Derpy.
Yeah, we all love Derpy. Everybody loves Derpy.
That's debatable.
We do have a
after I say I love him, I say it's debatable.
Of course, everybody at the Skiller training camp is there. There's no players on the PUP. Everybody's ready to go. There's no incidences, no crazy stories. Guys are there. They're ready to work. But unfortunately, I want to talk about this baseball real quick, only because I like to get it out of the way so we can spend the rest of the day talking football. Pittsburgh Pirates are 5-1 against the San Diego Padres this year. They're 40-56 against everybody else. They're still 11.5 games back. Even after the win last night, the Pirates win 3-2 in a close game that could have probably been lost by the Pirates. Pirates are 45-57 at the time. Big Stacks has to come out and prove me wrong, goes 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI with a home run. And the only 3 runs that were scored by the Pirates were home runs. Home runs by Big Stacks Brian Reynolds, Carlos Santana, who's been on a tear lately.
He has. I don't know what he's doing.
He's ready to get the hell out of Pittsburgh on this.
I think so.
This train this coming week. And Choi, who better be continued at his home runs because he's going to be taking that position over when Carlos Santana does leave.
Now that
I'm okay with.
Now, a question like with this right here, if you trade Santana, do you extend Choi in the offseason?
I think you take a look around and see what's
out there.
Our other options are, but maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I was like, that's been like a little sentiment amongst Pirate fans on Twitter. Is it like if Santana's gone, do you extend Choi? Or at least try to bring him back for a year?
You know, if that's if that's what they're looking to do, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I like Choi. He when he's healthy, he hits the ball far. It's always a plus. David Bednar gets his 20th save last night. Mike, his 20th save. It was an interesting 9th inning. He had 2 people on. He intentionally walked Soto to load the bases to get to the next batter, who ultimately got out. Loading the bases in the bottom of the 9th is dangerous, but you know what? He did it. He pulled it off. He got his 20th save of the season.
Hey, you know what? I like it when the closers let guys on base.
Yeah,
it makes it more exciting. And two, you get a ground ball, double play, boom. Hey, you're right where you need to be.
Yeah. They did it with bench coach Don Kelly managing the team. Of course, Derek Shelton was serving his 1-game suspension for the Manny Machado beanball incident the night before. Angel Perdomo is serving a 3-game suspension for this. And with the baseball, with like this pitcher, is 3-game suspension. Is it just 3 games? I mean, pitchers, the way they pitch
it's just 3 games, and he's available. You think it would be like, okay, you're a pitcher, that's 3 starts. You're out for a while, but it is what it is.
And I wasn't sure how that played out. Once the Pirates have the day off today, come home, back to the Berg. They got Philadelphia coming to town tomorrow. We have a nice little rotation of pitchers. Keller's going to be on the hill tomorrow with a 9-6 record. Quinn Priester will be on the hill Saturday with a 1-1, and then Rich Hill will be finishing up Phillies series on Sunday with a 7-10 record. They'll be facing Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez. So I look for a good series. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully, even if we don't win, hopefully, I just want to see the young guys just keep doing better and better.
Yeah, the young guys are a blast to watch. They're a blast.
Yeah, like that stuff you sent me about Edney Rodriguez.
Yeah, look at the energy and the hype that he has, man.
Dude, I want him to be to be our everyday catcher and put Davis out in the outfield somewhere, or maybe At first, I was against Davis not catching, but watching Edney behind the plate,
he's the more natural catcher.
Yeah. I like him back there.
I wouldn't mind if something would happen where Troy wasn't extended. I could see Davis at first base. I mean, that's
do something like that. I want them both in the lineup.
Yeah, all these young guys. Oh, they're so fun. They're so much better than the team that we had on the field prior to. And this is going to be a bunch of guys added, of course, along with Paul Skeens eventually. It's going to be a fun, nice little team.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, it's Pirate baseball, man. We always got to look forward to the future.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? It's never the now. It's never the now.
It's never now.
Never.
It's always the future.
The future always looks good for a team that's always bad.
Exactly. That's why, Bob Nutting has it figured out.
He sure does. I wish I could do the lack of work that he doesn't get paid the money that he gets paid. I can tell you that.
Oh, you know what? That's me at my job. I do as little as possible.
We're going to kick it over to the soccer field briefly. The Indy 11 come to town and beat the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 3-1. This is the second games in a row that our soccer team here in Pittsburgh lost.
That's depressing, but you know what? They had like that amazing win streak, was like 13 games in a row, like unbeaten or wins. So you know what? The pendulum will swing back the other way on you sometimes. So
Yeah, right. Over in football, Chiefs wide receiver John Ross, the number 9th overall pick in the 2017 draft, calls it quits as camp starts. Guys start showing up to camp, making their way in, stopping at Target, grabbing their TVs, carrying their egg mattresses in. John Ross, the wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, retired.
yeah, he was what 9th overall draft pick.
Yeah,
From the Bengals years
2017.
back. Hey, you know what? Hey, he lived his dream. Congratulations, man. Enjoy retirement. Enjoy the second half of your life. Get out while you're healthy. Get that money. You know?
More player news in the league. Former Pittsburgh Maulers linebacker Kiona Tizino, the leading tackler of the
Yes.
Maulers, of course. He terminated his USFL contract, and he is going to be signing with the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, that's awesome. I saw that on Twitter, on the Maulers Twitter, that like his contract was terminated. He's going to the NFL. I just didn't see what team. So that's exciting, man. It'd be
It is
nice to see him
exciting.
on that defensive line.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be, you wish him all
I
the
hope he
luck.
makes it. I hope he makes it, man.
The only game that I wish that he would not have luck in would be the one played in 45 days from now.
Exactly.
Beyond that, have at it, my man.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. Wouldn't surprise me if his season just ended. If he does make the roster, or maybe just as like a practice squad guy to start out there, so he doesn't have to go in from one season directly into the next.
Right. He got amazing talent. Who knows?
He knows too, man. I hope he can stick around, man. He was fun to watch.
We're going to come to Latrobe and talk a little bit here. TJ Watt finally addresses something that we've been talking about for a couple of years now. You and I, we've done this show for over 2 years. And we often say that TJ Watt, yeah, he's great. But when it comes to the playoffs, he just, and whether he doesn't get it done or the team, whatever it is, but whatever it is, he is, had it up to here. He says, I'm ready. It's bothering me. The one thing that I haven't done was won playoff games and haven't performed well in playoff games. So he's going into this preseason with that mindset, maybe setting some goals for himself and getting the other guys on board. But he's ready. He wants to get to the playoffs. He wants to make an impact. And you know what? Okay, 7 years gone by, but where we are right now, present time, let's do this, man. Get your head right. Let's get to the playoffs and let's make some noise.
Yeah, his last playoff game, 2021, he had a pretty good game. He had the 3 tackles, he had that sack.
I think he had a touchdown.
Yeah, he had the strip sack for the touchdown that started out, and then the game went off the rails. Like Kansas City just decided to beat Kansas City, but he played well that game.
That 21 team was not built to play that Kansas City team.
God no. That team was definitely exposed as not ready for prime time, but I give him credit. He played well that game.
I look forward to it. I think this team is going to be different this year, guys. I think it's going to be a mentality thing. This team has gone through a lot for the past few years and last year, and I think that these guys are going to have a really good season.
I hope so. I'm hoping they do. I think it's the one more year. I think one more year away from being true contenders. Last year they exceeded expectations. This year, I think they might just be like a little hiccup along the way, just because the rookies last year played pretty well. Might be a little. You had that sophomore slump. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping
Mike, I really have a hard time.
I'm hopeful, but like in the back of my mind, you know me, I'm cautiously pessimistic.
I'm really having a hard time believing that this defense isn't going to make some noise. I think this defense is going to be dangerous.
It needs to be.
The schedule that we have is considerably easier than last year's schedule. The part of the schedule last year that was easy was the NFC South. Of course, we swept that division.
Yeah.
I think that this schedule this year would be more fitting with that division that we played last year.
Yeah.
I think that now you shed the Eagles, you shed the Bills, You don't play Kansas City. You're going to get that schedule
Yeah.
that would be more comparable with how things turned out. And being that the way things went, the way they did last year, where there was a lot of uncertainty on a team, I think just by default, it's going to be better. And I think that, like I said, if this defense comes out and plays to its potential and what they're being paid to do, I think that the Steeler team could go a long way. I really do.
Yeah, like you said, the first half of the schedule last year, that was the hardest part. And if this schedule, if it
was as hard as it got, it really was. If you look at the team,
we had that, so that's like it's kind of hard for me. Like last year to say, we we like statistically we improved in the second half, but like we also had faced weaker competition.
Right, absolutely.
So for me, it's hard to grade last year. Like, was it improvements, or did we just get lucky and we played some bad teams down the stretch and we got teams on our level? Well, this year, most of the teams that we're playing are going to be more or less our level.
Right.
We have some that are above us. Obviously the 49ers, that first game out of the gate is going to be a huge test because they're going to be hungry.
If we could beat San Francisco in that first game, then that's huge to get the season started.
Yeah.
Because then you put that game behind you.
Yeah.
And then you say, we won this. We had we had one of the elite teams come to town. We beat them. Let's focus on what's next and go from there. I really have. I got good feelings about this team. Like I mean,
I hope so. I'm hopeful, but you know me.
As I said,
when it comes to my Steelers, I'm very pessimistic.
When it comes to that second half of the season, and they were under, the opponents weren't that great. It was your Raiders, it was your Browns, it was teams like this. If you face a schedule more like that, I think by default you're going to be better as they were better down the stretch.
Yeah.
I'm not dodging Kansas City. I'm not dodging the Bills, but you know what? They're not on our schedule. You can't do nothing about that.
You can only play who you play.
You could only play who they give you. So, if they're going to hold that against us, let that be the thing they hold against us. And then when we get to the playoffs, we'll see if we could do anything about it. But you know what? I'm happy with the way things are going. I think the way that this defense has been put together, and even, in things on the offense, I think, Mike, I think I have a really hard time thinking this is going to be a bad year for the Steelers.
Yeah, what I'm talking myself into, like if they have like that weak schedule and those teams are bad, like we can be producing, guys can get better where you're not playing that those top tier teams. So like you're gonna build confidence that way and get better that way, even though you're not facing the best, but you're out there, you're producing, and you're morale is high. That has a carryover effect. So it's one way to get better is to play bad teams because you're going to make yourself look good, feel good, play good, and then that's going to give you confidence. And confidence is huge, man, in the pros.
And also, I think the uncertainty in the first half of the season last year, because in the schedule you had, of course, the Eagles, the Bills, and then you had the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots.
Yeah,
I think a little bit more of a confident team. No, I'm not going to say would have made much difference against the two first teams I mentioned, the Bills and the Eagles.
No.
But I think a confident team, a team with a little bit more certainty, would have played those three games differently.
Yeah.
The Jets losing by 4, the Patriots losing by 3, and the Dolphins losing just by a couple points. So, it's going to be interesting this year because there is a little bit more certainty. There isn't guys that don't, we're coming in with a different mindset this year. And I think that plays a part. I think, like I said, it's going to be hard for me to.
And if TJ Watt's healthy, if Najee is healthy, just both of those guys are healthy, all season, we missed them for huge, Watt missed 8 games. Najee was not healthy the entire first half of the season. We had the uncertainty of the offensive line. So those three things, if those are shored up, you're going to realistically and hopefully you're going to perform better in the first half of this season.
I'm excited. 45 days till we play the 49ers. 15 days, guys. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're going to be watching the Steelers play Tampa Bay. I can't even describe how that makes me feel inside.
Oh, I can't wait.
Gives me a tingly feeling.
You got a tingly feeling on the inside.
Like when I climbed the rope in gym class.
Ooh, I like it.
Derpy, I'm gonna come over to you now because you had an incident, or not an incident, but something you want to talk about regarding Najee Harris. Derpy was on me before the show. Derpy was on me. He wants to talk about something regarding Najee Harris. Derpy, the floor is yours.
I'm just upset with Najee and with his decision to, I understand somewhat what he's saying about Saquon, and that running backs do deserve that money.
I see
But
where you're
he
going.
hasn't
Okay.
proved anything. He hasn't proven anything, and that's why that's what makes Mahomes so different than any quarterback that's been paid recently, is that he wants to win.
And he does. I mean, he is the one that is winning.
And he's the one who is winning, and he proved it.
One thing that I gotta always refresh in my mind. Let's just say Patrick Mahomes is the best. And let's say he's going to be the best in this generation.
Yeah.
That's okay.
He's
we don't
Brady.
have to have Tom Brady. We don't have to have Patrick Mahomes. We won Super Bowls during the Tom Brady era.
Exactly.
We won Super Bowls during the Peyton Manning era. You know what I mean? So I think that we're going to be fine as long as we do what we do well, as the Pittsburgh Steelers have done through history. We've never, there's been great teams in the 70s. The Cowboys considerably could have been the best team of the 70s. We just got to be the Steelers, do what the Steelers do. But going back to what you were saying about Najee Harris, I think where you're going was the whole debate over Saquon Barkley and the amount of money that running backs get paid. Is this correct, Irpy?
Yes. And I just don't want him to start drama that we don't need.
Najee.
This team is actually a good team, talent-wise, coming back.
But
go ahead,
he's a running back, Derpy. He's looking for his future, knowing like, hey, in next year, are they going to extend me? Am I going to play out this rookie contract? Are they going to franchise me? And I never get a chance to go onto the open market like every other player in the league. Whereas me as a first round pick, as a running back who was good, I am going to get screwed over. Why isn't he? He's allowed to think, for what's
I know
best for
he
him.
is, but
these teams chew up players, spit them out, and don't think twice about it. Why can't a player,
especially a running back?
That's the drama I'm talking about. Why we didn't win with the Killer Bees, though.
No, we didn't win with the Killer Bees because they kept choking. The offense choked, the defense choked, the quarterbacks choked,
because
the coaching choked. But that was not being on the same page. They just choked. They just failed. They got beat by better teams. They beat themselves.
We ran into some injuries late in the seasons those years. I think in the playoffs, there were some injuries that were pretty big. But
like Saquon Barkley, he signed his contract. He didn't sign the tender. They gave him. He signed a 1-year deal and went back there, and he was there day one, ready to go. So he had no drama there. Najee was asked a question, said, "Hey, yeah, running backs, we deserve to be paid fairly." Cole Kmet, the tight end out of the Bears, is making more than the star running backs in the league. How is that fair to them? It's not. This bum of a tight end is not better than some of these star running backs. These guys, they put their lives on the line, their bodies on the line for these teams, and they chew them up, spit them out, and they don't want to pay them. I have no problems with the running back speaking out. I don't think it's causing drama.
I just think everyone wants to become greedy. They make more than the average person in a year.
Well, yeah, but this is why they make more than the average person in a year, because they bring so much money to these teams, and without them, the owners, only one team can win a Super Bowl year. And Mahomes makes $50 million. Like, he signed what? A $250 million contract.
Because he earned it. So he proved it.
Yeah, these guys proved it too. They proved their worth to their teams, that they should be paid fairly. And these teams don't want to pay running backs fairly.
I agree with both of you. I agree with what Mike is saying overall. I agree with Derpy in the sense that this team does not need drama. I think that this team needs to do everything that it can in its power to stay away from drama at all costs.
Kenny Pickett wants to win.
Yes.
And these guys want to win.
And overall,
Kenny Pickett's on his rookie contract. He has no room to to stand on about a contract.
But overall,
I know, but you want a quarterback that has the nerve like that, though.
So here's I hate when people say, well, this guy wants to win. Everyone wants to win. That's why they're out there. Yeah, they want to win, but they also want to be paid fairly. So when they retire, after their bodies are destroyed, they were compensated fairly.
The running backs get abused more than anybody. There's not a player on the team that gets hit harder and as often as a running back. There's not a player on the team that you tell to run into a big pile of grown athletes who are very strong, very fast, very athletic, and expect them to, get up every play and get back to the huddle as if nothing happened, as if they just weren't in a car accident every play leading up to that. You got to pay your running backs, whatever. Here's the thing. we could complain about the money situation in pro sports, or you can enjoy sports. And my thing is this: if I worry about what everybody's getting paid, I give the guy the money. Why not?
Yeah.
You're giving everybody else money.
Yeah.
You can't not pay your running backs.
Yeah, P hit it on the head. Punters become scratch golfers post career. Running backs start planning that first hip replacement.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. These guys get paid a lot of money. Hey, you got to pay your running back. You got to. There's nobody that's involved in the game more besides a center and a quarterback than a running back is.
Especially like you look at the Giants without Saquon Barkley last year, that team doesn't do anything. Daniel Jones he's not going to get you anywhere.
I think Najee, I don't know the whole story. I blew over, to be honest with you. But if he leaves it at this, gets to work, stops worrying about, he made a comment about a situation that he believed, that
I just think he should prove it that he earns the money.
That's all. Think that Najee should prove it?
Yeah.
I think Najee's going to prove it. And as we said earlier on our show, 1,000 yards isn't what it used to be in the NFL because you did add an extra game and, but you also are a passing league now.
Exactly.
So to have 1,000 yards, it stands for something. Whether it's not the same value that it used to be, I think rushing for 1,000 yards stands for something in the NFL. And it's something that Najee Harris has been able to do in his first 2 seasons with a less than desirable line. And last year they did really well, don't get me wrong. And also with dealing with a few injuries that he had. You can't say that he's having a bad time. I think Najee is doing well. I think that this year should be a breakout season for him. But, at the end of the day, all these guys got to get paid. They're doing their job. If you're paying these guys this amount of money and these guys that do a lot more work seemingly are only getting paid this, you give them their money, man. What are you going to do? It's not your money.
Exactly. When it comes to taking money from billionaires and giving it to their workers, I support the workers. I don't care if they're millionaires or not. That they have a strong, most sports have strong unions. NFL really doesn't, and they should be paid more. I want the NBA union repping me and everything. Those guys get paid bank.
But I think, Derpy, what you're saying is you want Najee to prove himself. Is that correct?
Yes. In the playoffs. In the playoffs,
and him
has Najee been in the playoffs?
His running backs disappear in the playoffs.
No. And possibly the financial thing with what he brought up about Saquon Barkley. So that's where you were going with everything, correct?
Yes.
All right. Fair
enough. You heard it here first. Derpy thinks no one deserves money.
I don't know. I don't think
I'm just saying greedy ones that already earned their right to have that amount of money.
Well,
like I said, they make more than an average person in a year, and
when only a handful of people can do what they can do, and they bring in billions of dollars a year, they should get a huge chunk of that pie.
No reason they shouldn't get paid. I mean, everybody's getting paid in pro sports.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are running low on time. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
twodumbyinzers.com. We have links for everything over there. Website. You can find the email address, email comments, questions, anything. Email anything to us, especially email anything you want to Ryan. He loves getting weird emails from fans. Check out the merch store, get your Bob Nothing merch there. Maybe you'll get your Najee Pay Me Harris merch that I might make. Najee, show me the money.
I think Najee is going to have a pretty super year this year. I think he's going to exceed what he had. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to exceed what he had in yards in his first 2 years. But that it will be.
I'm looking for 1,300 out of Najee this year.
I think he could do 1,200. Guys, question of the day, trivia of the day is not a baseball question. It's a football question. As a matter of fact, it's a preseason question. So that's got to be making you feel good, right?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's go.
The trivia question of the day is this, guys. The preseason record that the Steelers had in all 3 of their Super Bowl seasons since 2000, which we know was 05, 08, and 010. All 3 of those years, they had the same exact record in the preseason. All 3 of their Super Bowl seasons since 2000, they had the same exact preseason record that year. I need you fellas to tell me What was the record that the Steelers had in preseason of their 3 Super Bowl seasons? Go ahead and think that over. In the meantime, we're live every day, 7 days a week, from Monday to Sunday, 11:30 a.m. right here. And if you missed this, or you just like listening to the show, put your earpods in, you're at the gym, you're in the car, whatever it may be, the show gets uploaded over on Spotify in podcast form every day at 8 p.m. All new show every day, 8 p.m. This goes up on Spotify. Go check us out. Again, we are live here, 11:30 every day. So the question is this, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers had the same record, preseason record, in all 3 of their Super Bowl seasons this millennium. Can anybody tell me what that record was? I'll start with Derpy. Derpy, what do you think it was?
I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
All right. Derpy says 2-2. You want that to be your final answer, Derpy?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to lock Derpy in place for 2-2. Mike, what was the Steelers' preseason record in all 3 seasons this millennium that they had made the Super Bowl?
I'm going with P. I'm going 1-3.
1-3. And P on the board also says 1-3.
Not a bad one.
Want me to lock you in on a 1-3, Mike?
Yep.
All right. Lock you in, lock P in, and there we go. I'm looking for the record. The Pittsburgh Steelers had carried the same preseason record all 3 seasons they went to the Super Bowl this millennium. Super Bowl 43, Super Bowl 40, Super Bowl 45. You remember them all. But do you remember the record of the preseason that same year for the Steelers? It was the same record all 3 of those years. P on the board said he's just guessing. He's saying 1-3. Mike agreed with him. He's saying 1-3. Derpy says 2-2. The answer, of course, guys, was they had the record of 3-1.
Ooh,
wow.
3-1. The every single season that they went to the Super Bowl, that was their preseason record. So let's we can't say let's hope for a 3-1 preseason this year because we only played 3 games.
Go 3-0.
We'll go 3-0. That'll be good for me.
They'll go 3-0 and start the season 0-3.
Or yeah,
We're
starting off 3.
I'll be on the hype train, and then I'll be angry.
We'll burn the city down, man.
Be like the Buccos.
Yeah. Derpy, you got anything before we get ready to take off, man?
Tom will have these guys ready for this year.
You say will he or he's going to?
Tomlin should have these guys ready for this year.
I agree. I think this team is different. I do, from top to bottom. I think there's a swag, the swag that maybe you were talking about the other day when you were finishing up the show. I don't know what that was, but you know what? I feel that there's a swag with this team from top to bottom. I think that this team feels that they have something to prove, and I think that they're starting to believe that about themselves. Mike, you got anything before we take off?
I got nothing. I got no words of wisdom. I always blanket this. Oh yeah, if you have an ingrown hair on the back of your neck and it pops at work, just leave. Leave. Don't stay at work like I did.
Oh, Mike, wow.
Oh man, Mike.
Oh,
I had paper towel on the back of my neck, walking around like this. Yeah, it was a rough one, boys.
Way to traumatize us worse than
you know what?
the Jesse James throw.
Exactly. This is why I'm here. I could have led the show off with this. I waited till the end.
Oh, good luck thinking about anything the rest of the day, everybody.
My boss said before it popped that it was winking at him.
It was winking at him.
I'm like, did something die in here? Oh God.
Oh, it's that putrid smell that like cheese, like old cheese.
It's disgusting.
It smells like a certain franchise by a lake.
It did smell like Cleveland.
Mike's ingrown hair smells like Cleveland. My closing thoughts on the day. I think everything is good in the hood with as far as our Pittsburgh teams. I think the Steelers are going to do well this year. I do believe that the Pirates are going to continue to stink this year. But ultimately, I do say that I honestly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, believe that people mainly remember Sinead O'Connor because she's bald-headed.
That's
And on
that's an
note-
interesting hill to die on.
And on that note, I do want to thank everybody for checking us out. We do appreciate each and every one of you, even you, P, after the terrible comments about my hair. I still love you, brother. But hey, we do want to thank you. And for Derpy, Mike, myself, the two dumb ninjas, everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.